Hey there, it's Vishon, also known as the Tough Mama, and we have 2 projects that we did with 1 pallet. So here are the projects. Today we're going to be making 2 projects with 1 pallet. All right, so the 2 projects we're going to make are a floating shelf and a kid's book holder. Children's book holder. Okay, so super easy projects, and you could use the children's book holder for a magazine holder or something like that as well. So it doesn't have to be for kids, it could be just to help you yourself get organized. All right, let's get started. Step 1, deconstruct the pallet. You'll see a link around this video on how to do that. Step 2, remove nails and repair favorite boards. Once you have your pallet deconstructed, you should have a pile of boards like this, okay? Some of them obviously are gonna crack. You don't necessarily have to get all upset if you crack some. It happens even to me, and I've been doing this for years now. What I do is the ones that have cracked, if it's down far on them, I just go ahead and set those aside, and I may be able to use a smaller piece of it for another project. But if I really like the board, like if it's got some good character, you can use some wood glue and glue it together and then clamp it where the crack is, and then it salvages that board, and it actually adds more character having that crack there. Make sure that before you start cutting any of these that you have pulled out any nails that might get in the way of your cut lines, because it's super important that you don't tear up your blades. I've learned that one the hard way too. Step 3, cutting and sanding. Here are the cuts that you'll need to make for each project. You can take a screenshot of these for your reference. Step 4, nail together the children's bookshelf. Here's the order that I did it in. Step 5, put together the box for the floating shelf. This is the order that I put it together in. Step 6, create the hidden support structure. Inside of the floating shelf, you need a structure that's going to hold that onto the wall. It needs to be pretty sturdy. So this is what I put together, and I haven't nailed or screwed these together at all. But what I did was I cut up, one of the center pieces of the pallet, and then obviously I've already sanded these down. And then I'm going to lay it out just like this. The long flat piece is the part that gets screwed into the wall. And then these 3 are what holds the shelf up. Okay, so how do you attach these? Because it would be a lot of work to try to drill, a screw all the way through here. Although it is possible, and if you don't have the next tool that I'm going to show you, you could do it that way. Or you could do what's called the toe-in technique, where you would put a nail here and you would kind of hammer it in, or pound it in, I should say. My husband always corrects me on that. It's supposed to be pound, not hammer, but I still like to say hammer it in, so don't tell him. Anyhow, you could hammer or pound in your nail at an angle. That's called toeing it in, and that's another way that you could attach wood pieces like that. But my favorite way to attach them is with a really cool tool called a Kreg, and it's Kreg. So let me show you that tool. All right, here it is. This is the Kreg tool. And I love this thing because what it does, it's a simple tool. You can find these at Lowe's. But what it does is this will make pocket holes that you can put together pieces of wood like I spoke of earlier. And it makes it so sturdy. I mean, one piece of wood like these down here with 2 pocket holes in each of those spots would hold over 100 pounds. I'm not kidding. So how does this thing work? Number 1, you have to measure, there's a chart on these. You have to measure the thickness of your wood. Always go with measuring the thin side of the wood. So like on this little guy down here, I don't want to measure the width here. I want to measure this width. because the way I'm going to put these pocket holes in is I'm going to drill a hole in this piece, 2 holes actually, and it's going to go in here. So it's going to be going into the thinner part of the wood. So I've already pre-measured these, and after sanding and everything, these are 1 1/8 inches thick. So 1 1/8 inch thick. So now that we know that, what we do is we come up here to the handy chart, and it shows you material thickness. So my boards are 1 1/8 inch thick, and then it tells you the length of the screw you're gonna need. So it's 1 1/2 inch screws. All right, well, it just so happens, boom, I bought some of these at Lowe's, and these are indoor only. If you were gonna make something that goes outside, you're gonna want the blue ones, but these are the zinc ones, I believe, and these, yeah, zinc coated. These are only for indoor use where it's not gonna get wet. Okay, just FYI on that. So we got those. And then how do you set this guy up? I had to read up on this when I first started using it, but I've been using it so often now, I basically can set it up in like less than a minute. Okay, but basically what you do, you got this cool thing here, and there's a little knob that pulls. If you can see on the side, it has the board thickness. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to lower that down to the 1/8 position. I'm trying to do it with one hand. That's hard. Anyhow, I'll lower it down in a minute, but you lower that down to exactly the thickness of your board, and you don't want it any lower, otherwise your pocket hole is going to go all the way through the board, which would not be cool. Okay, and then the Kreg set comes with this guy. This is the drill bit that actually drills your pocket hole. So I need this little piece. I'm trying to do everything with one hand so I can hold the camera. This little piece here moves. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in one of the holes here. Okay. And I need to adjust something. So inside of here is this little stair stepper. You see this guy? Okay. So I need to find the one that is for my 1 1/2 inch screw. Here they are. So I need to, let me scoot this guy back. Okay, I put my little, let me get that out. I take my little stair stepper, and I need to put the one that was the middle one underneath. Let me come around. Underneath one of the holes. So I need this middle one here. Okay, so now I put that in. I've got this at the board length height, and I want to line this up here. Get in there. There. Okay, so now what this does is it stops the drill bit where it needs to stop. So then I can adjust this neck at the exact right height. That way it ensures that I don't go all the way through my board. So to adjust that, I have a little tool in here somewhere. Lots of sawdust in there. I wonder why. Okay, here it is. I need one of these guys. I can't remember what these are called. Yeah, I'm good at construction, but most of the tool names, you'll ask my husband, he would laugh because he knows all the tool names. I just know that it's a thingamajig that looks like an L, and you use it to, undo this thing. Yeah. Anyhow, I'm real professional. But yeah, so I'm gonna adjust that little guy to the right height, and then we're gonna get to drilling. All right, safety protection is on. Got my drill bit all ready to go. And we are ready to get going with the Kreg tool. Step 7, stain, paint, and finish.